Hello, beautiful soul family, and welcome to Weekly Wisdom and Insights, your home for spiritually guided transformation and empowerment. I am your host, Dearjames, and together with the unseen, Spirit, Source, and Symphony, we look at the current energies, the intuitive wisdom and insights, and we go as guided. And we are working with the beautiful Libra full moon. It's known as a pink moon, and also a Saturn sextile Pluto and Venus in Taurus. Beautiful energies, big energies, healing energies. And we're going to see how this main theme, there's a main theme here about working with our shadow. It's not about eliminating the shadow or eliminating the ego, mind, personality, human. It is about integrating it, purifying it, so that in that yin yang, in that perfect harmony and balance of purity of the light and the dark, we transcend, we ascend, we evolve, we grow. And so we're working with these beautiful themes, and you'll see how this Libra full moon, this pink moon, and Libra is about harmony and relationships and balance and so forth. So big energies. Let me just start off. Welcome, Heather. Welcome, Kiki. Welcome, Colleen. Welcome, Alicia. Thank you all for joining from around the globe and always being here with your beautiful energy. So let's dive into these beautiful full moon energies. We're going to start off. It's April 1st, April Fool's Day. It's April 1st. And we have this youthful folly try again. And this is interweaving because we are beginning anew. In every moment, we're beginning anew, and we have that option to choose that. You can see that we have double ones because it's the 1st of April, and then 2026 is a 10-year that becomes a 1. And so with this doubling down on the creative force to initiate, it is the purity of the divine masculine. It's to take action, and we can feel it. And then they culminate in a 6, conflict, let go, letting go of the conflict, letting go of the past, of who we were, to become who we're becoming. Welcome, Elizabeth. And so we have these energies. So let's take a quick look at the astrological chart for the Libra full pink moon. It's occurring today in the US and so forth, into the 2nd, going towards Europe and Asia and so forth. And there was something immediately, you know how if you've been with us in Weekly Wisdom and Insights, I read the astrology intuitively and I look at the aspects and so forth. And what I heard immediately was diamond fractals of light. And there's this other aspect, it's our main theme, which is, well, I'll say it now and we'll come back to it, is anchors aweigh. We're running with the shadows of the night. So we have this diamond fractals of light. And diamonds are composed of pure carbon atoms arranged in an exceptionally rigid tetrahedral crystal lattice, making them the hardest naturally occurring material on Earth. Ranking 10 on the Mohs scale, this structure forms, the structure of a diamond forms under intense pressure deep within the Earth. Much like diamonds, we are formed under intense pressure. I mean, just think about how we come into the world through the birth canal, this intense pressure, and yet this crystalline structure, this diamond, it's a carbon-based atom and so forth, but this crystalline light. And so seeing diamond fractals of light is considered a high-level meditative or spiritual experience, symbolizing the awakening of consciousness, the realization of one's inner brilliance, and direct interaction with high-frequency divine energy. These visions are interpreted as namittas, bright lights in the mind, that represent the mind observing its own true crystalline nature. It's us witnessing our soul, our divinity, this highest octave of ourselves. Diamonds are supreme amplifiers of consciousness. Seeing them, especially in a fractured, light refracting state, symbolizes that your intuition is increasing and that you are in a process of clearing, polishing, and removing mental clutter to reveal your true self. This is that honing and polishing and that, purifying the goo, facing it, addressing it, that reveals our true self. Metaphysical practitioners view this as a transformative energy that clears away lower vibrations like fear or anger, acting as a shield for spiritual protection. The fractal nature of the light, of the diamond light, signifies that the observer is a local, repeating pattern of divine whole. It highlights that the universe's sacred intelligence is present in your particular form. It's within us, connecting you to the divine. It's our soul source connection. As purifiers and enhancers, diamond light represents the cutting through of illusion and delusion. That's that Neptune, Saturn, Neptune, 0 degrees Aries, and Neptune's the highest ideal. It can represent illusion and delusion, but it also represents the highest purity, the highest ideal. We're coming to it, this upreaching. So diamond light represents the cutting through of illusion and delusion to reach higher truths. It acts as a bridge to angelic realms and the crown chakra, which facilitates connection to higher consciousness. The vision represents the unbreakable, the Greek Adama, nature of the human spirit. It serves as a reminder of one's ability to remain strong, focused, and pure, regardless of the pressure, the trials one has undergone. In meditation, these diamond fractals of light, these patterns are a signal and a sign of successful, deep, and clear meditation, often reflecting the mind's ability to see its own inner sacred structure. So we're being asked with this Libra full pink moon, and this is true regardless of the time and the astrological energies, but there's an importance here about looking within, looking at the shadow, looking at the light, finding the harmony and the balance, purifying them. It's not to eradicate, to kill, as I said, the ego or the ego, mind, personality, human, or the shadow. We are both. And so in the highest purity of the void and the highest purity of the light, bringing that all together in harmony and balance, in unity and purified. So we're working with this, the diamond fractals of light with these energies. Now let's go to our main theme. I want to jump into that because it's here it is. We've got our main theme of anchors aweigh. We're running with the shadows of the night. And anchors aweigh is about, so it's a naval phrase indicating the anchor has been lifted from the seafloor, meaning the ship is officially underway and starting its voyage. It signifies a, quote, ready to depart or call to action moment, often used to signify starting a new endeavor. Spiritually, anchors aweigh signifies the moment of letting go, embracing new beginnings, and stepping into the unknown with faith, transitioning from a state of rest, anchored, to active movement and purpose. There's those double ones, that fire energy, the creative force. It represents casting off limitations of the past, trusting the journey, and gaining freedom in one's life. Just as a ship lifts its anchor to start a voyage, this phrase represents initiating a new chapter, a new spiritual pursuit, or a new level of faith. There's great trust in this moment. The unseen is speaking to us of this anchors aweigh, we're running with the shadows of the night. They're saying to us, see, we're ready to embark, we're ready to up level, to transcend where we've been. But there's always this misnomer that in order to do that, we have to eradicate the ego, the human, the mind, or the shadow. And then, of course, that puts our ego, mind, personality, human into overdrive, monkey mind, as opposed to saying to it, no, no, no. We know that for all of this time, for millennia, you, the ego, mind, personality, the human, have believed that you were in charge, that you were directing and leading the show. And we, the unseen, the divine, the soul source connection, your soul, sat quietly, patiently, the divine feminine, it sat waiting, awaiting this moment where it would take its rightful place, reassert itself, and arrive at this octave, this level of this moment, to reassert itself and to say, with great purity and humility, now I lead. You follow. You come with me. And we've talked about how the ego, mind, personality, we place it in the sidecar, or it's in service to the divine, the soul. And this is what they're talking about, that it's anchors away. We're running with the shadow of the night, meaning we're running with our shadow. We're not eradicating it. We're running with it. And how the realization of that, it's like a huge exhale. It's like, oh, okay. And then the ego, mind, personality, human calms down and says, ah, okay, it's okay. I'm not in fear. I can trust. I'm still here. But it becomes a unified force, a unified effort. It's no longer, it's the Ahura Mazda, it's the rotary engine of the Mazda vehicle instead of the independent pistons of an alternate engine, and how that Mazda engine works in harmony and unity. It's a triangle. It's a rotary engine. So anchors away. Just as a ship lifts its anchor to start a voyage, this phrase represents initiating a new chapter, a new spiritual pursuit, or a new level of faith. Aweigh means the anchor is lifted from the seafloor, signaling that the vessel is no longer stuck. Spiritually, it symbolizes releasing attachments to the past and being prepared to move freely in faith, as in freedom to act. It is a call to action. It suggests that a person has been grounded, rested, or hesitant, and is now ready to take risks and pursue a brighter future. While an anchor represents stability and safety in a storm, often linked to faith in the divine, in God, the all that is, anchors away signifies that that safe harbor is left behind to experience the adventure of life, relying on inner strength, wisdom, and divine guidance. It's your soul source connection, your true north. In short, anchors away is a spiritual call to release, depart, and begin a new adventure. It's trusting your inner knowing, your soul source connection. So whether it be a person, a place, a thing, a habit, whatever, an addiction, whatever it may be, it's about releasing it, knowing, because that anchor is the divine. So whether it's holding us in place, whether the anchor, the divine, is holding us in place, resting, or anchors away, lifting the anchor to move us forward, change. What's constant is the divine, God, the all that is, your soul source connection. It's ever present, it knows all, it's true north, and thereby, whether we're, again, anchored or anchors away, it's moving us with that consistency, that ever changing, present, constant force that we talked about last week. And so now, running with the shadows of the night. We're running with the shadows of the night. The phrase "we're running with the shadows of the night," popularized by Pat Benatar's 1982 rock anthem, carries both thematic and potential metaphorical spiritual interpretations, particularly regarding human connection and resilience. While the song is primarily about a world-weary couple finding solace in each other despite having no future, the lyrics can be interpreted through a lens of embracing the darker, hidden aspects of life. Spiritually, shadows often represent the unconscious mind, the parts of ourselves we deny, hide, or fear. Running with them suggests an acceptance and integration of these shadowy parts, rather than running from them, leading to a more complete, integrated self. The lyrics act as a message of comfort, urging partners, and partners can be anything. They can be platonic, romantic, professional. So the message giving is urging comfort partners to share their pain and cry tough together. That's part of the lyrics. The night represents dark times or life challenges, while the running suggests moving through them together, using connection as a source of strength. The song urges the listener to surrender all your dreams to one another or to another, implying that sharing vulnerabilities and surrendering the need for total control allows for a deeper, almost spiritual connection and the possibility of healing. This Libra full pink moon and Venus in Taurus, the Saturn sextile Pluto, healing. The message, the overall message, is the shadow, ego, mind, personality, the monkey mind. It's Nine of Swords coming up. All so that we recognize, so that we heal. So it's how we use this on a deeper level and connectivity to heal. While the song is not a religious text, the phrase can be interpreted as walking through, quote, a dark night of the soul, where a person feels empty or lost. In this context, running with the shadows can represent navigating that darkness with a partner, finding purpose, and ultimately seeking a new dawn. In summary, the spiritual meaning focuses on the courage to traverse difficult times, darkness, by embracing one's hidden fears, shadows, and finding strength through intimate, loving companionship. And remember that intimate, loving companionship, first and foremost, is with yourself. It's within, and then externally. So when we have that intimate, loving companionship with the divine, God, the all that is, however you ascribe, our soul source connection, your soul, well, that's the foundation upon which you stand. That's where it all comes from. It's number one from the unseen. They said, resettling the score. Love takes time to heal when you're hurting so much. So it's Celine Dion song, or Mariah Carey song, pardon me. But it's resettling the score. Love takes time to heal when you're hurting so much. And they said, it's not about who you are or were, but rather who you're becoming. And then they reminded us, they said, dance. And that was number one from last week. They said, it's number two from last week, shake, rattle, and roll. It's time to rumba. It's time to dance, party, or start having a good time. So they're saying to us, this resettling the score. In a spiritual context, resettling the score involves moving beyond the human desire for retaliation or balancing transactional wrongs, and instead embracing a divine process of restoration, divine justice, and inner peace. See, where we're getting tripped up, where the shadow trips us up, and full moons illuminate, they reveal what's hidden. They bring to the surface so we can see everything. And that we're running with the shadows of the night. All this monkey mind, the shadow. And this resettling the score, well, when we're in ego, mind, personality, human, the shadow and the ego can want retaliation. It can go into a dark place. But this resettling the score, love takes time to heal when you're hurting so much. So in a spiritual context, it involves moving beyond the human desire for retaliation or balancing transactional wrongs where people have harmed us or hurt us, and instead embracing a divine process of restoration, divine justice, and inner peace. It is about allowing a higher power to address imbalances in life, resulting in healing, emotional freedom, and a renewed purposeful existence. This is about everything is by choice. All 8 billion souls on the planet are making choices. Those choices have actions, reactions, energy, and thereby, when we look inward first, we can see through the chaos, the illusion, the delusion, and we can say, okay, there's a higher purpose because everything's purposeful. And so while it may appear on the surface that someone harmed me, someone harmed you, what's going on soul to soul? What's happening underneath that at a deeper soul level, and where the light illuminates and reveals that, and how we then don't fall into ego, mind, personality, and victimization and retaliation and resentment. We purify the shadow. We unify our parts. All of this is about healing. Love takes time to heal when you're hurting so much. It's about restoration and wholeness. So the resettling the score, it's with ourselves. We're resettling the score with ourselves, not with someone else. That may occur even without their involvement. But the resettling of the score is internal. It's how we're seeing life. It's a new perspective, which cleanses us. Colleen saying, "That's me. I need to be. To be anchors away." Yes. Sorry, I don't have my specs on for a second. So resettling the score is associated with shalom, which implies not just peace, and shalom means peace be with you, remember, but the restoration of wholeness, where debts are canceled and relationships are mended. And remember, shalom, peace be with you, is that the divine is ever present with us. There's nowhere that it's not with us. No locked door prevented Master Jesus, after the crucifixion and the resurrection, from entering the room with the locked door to the disciples, the apostles. It represents a shift from settling scores, revenge, to allowing God, the divine, to bring ancient justice or divine order to situations. It is a surrender of the need to control outcomes or punish others, trusting in a higher justice. In the context of the body keeps the score, spiritual resettlement means keeping deep emotional or traumatic wounds, allowing the soul to move past the damage caused by past events. It's allowing ourselves to release it. Forgive. You don't have to forget, but don't allow the remembering to wound you or re-traumatize or hold you down or hold you back, keep you from who you're becoming. Similar to the biblical imagery of a threshing floor, it is a process where the chaff, the unnecessary burdens or negativity, is separated from the grain, the wheat, the true self and purpose, preparing a person for a more intimate relationship with the divine. It involves a surrender of emotional debt, allowing individuals to cease striving and find peace, especially when facing life's thresholds or major transitions. We are in a major, collectively and individually, we're in a major transition. And so it involves this surrender of emotional debt, allowing individuals to cease striving, swimming upriver, and find peace and flow with the river, flow with the living waters, the life force. Essentially, it is a move from a state of brokenness, trauma, or transactional thinking to a state of surrendered peace where the past no longer dictates the present, where the past doesn't hold power over us. It is about releasing all of that, because again, it's only the story, the scripts, the truths that we're telling ourselves. That's ego, mind, personality, human shadow that keeps us held down or back or prevents us from pursuing something or releasing something or saying, yes, I made that choice. I made that decision in the past, and it may have had these consequences, but that doesn't define me. I can allow it to refine me and then make alternate choices, air quotes, better choices moving forward, and thereby relinquish that aspect, purify that aspect of the shadow to elevate, to transcend. Kiki said, I just realized that I have resentments that I must let go. That is a massive first step. Take that first step and then keep stepping. That was from last week. It's in here as well coming up. And so, yes, Kiki, the first thing is to realize, oh, I have resentments. How is that eroding my foundation? Who I am in the moment? How is it corrupting my vessel, my emotions, my being? And when you purify that, because it's not about eradicating it, it's about purifying it, coming to a state of grace and clarity that says, I can see the deeper meaning and purpose of that interaction that caused that resentment. The resentment's at the surface. What's under it, what's deeper in, or again, the analogy of the oyster and the pearl, it's the irritant. The resentment is the irritant. When you get to the pearl, when that irritant creates a pearl, that's divine wisdom. That's purity. That's grace. And that allows you to release what was holding you in that resentment. Elizabeth, the book, The Body Keeps the Score is one of those books that found me in my adolescence, and I still go back to it. What a great go-to. So yes, you can see how all of this is intertwining, and this beauty of purifying, letting go. Number 2 from the unseen, they said, healing doesn't have to hurt. However, it is necessary, meaning healing is necessary. So healing doesn't have to hurt. It doesn't have to be traumatic and, scary and all of this stuff, healing. But it is necessary. And the unseen said, go with the flow, expand, contract, breathe. So we want to, healing doesn't have to hurt. However, it is necessary. Go with the flow, expand, contract, breathe. Breathe through it. No matter what it is, if it's anger, if it's resentment, if it's fear, if it's a moment of challenge, breathe through it and allow yourself, your body, your soul, your vessel to expand and contract in each moment. That is signaling, it's telling your brain, or your brain is that it's okay. It's saying to the ego, mind, personality, human, it's okay. Expand, contract, breathe. And thereby we then purify. We're clarifying, we're releasing, all of it coming together. And let's jump into the Nine of Swords here, because it's a beautiful image from the tarot. And upright, the Nine of Swords signals mental anguish, often amplified by isolation. You might be replaying a mistake, a choice, grieving in silence, or imagining worst-case scenarios that haven't happened and may never happen. This card is intensely emotional, but it is also a reminder you're not alone. The swords above you aren't falling, they're suspended, symbolic. What feels unbearable now might ease in the light of day. Healing doesn't have to hurt, however, it is necessary, and love takes time to heal when you're hurting so much. So it's symbolic. This card invites compassion, especially for yourself. Speak kindly to your mind. See, speak kindly to your ego, mind, personality, human, to your shadow, to your fears, your insecurities, whatever they may be. Reach for support. The shadows are intimidating, but they're not the whole story, and they're not there to consume you, control you, kill you, because morning will come, the light will come. Again, it's a choice. It's a choice to allow the light to come, the morning to come. And it's a choice to recognize that we are not out to eradicate or kill our ego, our mind, our shadow. We are here to purify them, to bring them into harmony and balance. It's number 4 from the unseen, and 4 is foundational. The unseen said, casting shadows and light. I purify, and they underlined the word purify. I purify my being. And then I heard the word equinox or equinox. Equinox, Latin, it means equal day and night. And then yin yang. So they said yin yang. So you can see that here's the Libra full moon, the pink moon, Libra, harmony, relationships, balance. And the unseen is telling us that we casting shadows and light. We cast shadows and light. I purify my being. So it's for us all to reach this state of divinity, purity, where the purity of our shadow and the purity of our light, casting shadows and light, is pure. I'm purifying my being. that they're not coming from a state of negativity or imbalance or darkness or retribution, resentment, anger. We're purifying them. And number 3, they had me, I did number 3, and then I did a second number 3, not realizing I had done so. And then I looked down, I was like, oh, 33. So the second number 3 on the list, they said master number 33. And master number 33 is the most influential. So 11's the most intuitive, 22 the most powerful, 33 the most influential. When we unify our shadow and our light, our human and our soul, our divinity, we become the most influential because we're the most pure. We're the most balanced. And they said, so master number 33, hark the herald angels sing, a new octave, expression, way of being. This is new to us. It's not new to us, but it's new to us in the sense that as above, so below, the energies are shifting and changing to bring us into this higher octave, into the divine feminine, into the matriarchal era, into the we the people era, into the era where the soul leads and the ego, mind, personality, human is in service to it. And so master number 33, the most influential, hark the herald angels sing, a new octave, expression, way of being. And then they said, reach for the stars. And that reach for the stars is about it's our key word, which is upreaching. And you see this beautiful crystalline, this beautiful turquoise crystal, and they said upreaching. So its meaning is to reach upward, raise, or lift something toward a higher position. Vertical extension or movement. It's vertical, it's not horizontal, vertical. To lift up, to elevate in dignity, to exalt. Spiritually, connecting with the divine through strengthening one's daily walk with the divine, allowing for a personal experience of divine power and presence. So upreaching is about connecting with the divine through strengthening one's daily walk with the divine, allowing for a personal experience of divine power and presence. It is about aligning hearts and minds in spiritual consonance with the divine. It is a proactive daily commitment seeking divine alignment, will, and order. This beautiful octave and action, it's creative, it's those double ones, that creative force. And the double ones, of course, is an 11, and they're stacked. Let me just show here. Remember, see, they're stacked. This vertical ascension, it's not or vertical extension or movement. It's not horizontal, it's vertical. It is transcendence, ascension, all of those aspects, this upreaching. So they're talking to us about master number 33, the most influential. That's who we're becoming, because resettling the score, it's not about who you are or were, but rather who you're becoming. Who we're becoming is this elevated, most influential, divine octave being, our highest octave. And let me just take you to our mantra. I am my highest octave. We already are it. It's within us. It's not something outside of us or external. It's not dependent on someone else or something else. And so this beautiful mantra to say to ourselves over and over and over again, I am my highest octave. Keep repeating that mantra. So in times of fear or trial or trepidation, keep coming back to, I am my highest octave. It's going to shift you mentally, internally, vertically, upward. It's going to remind you that that higher octave or that highest octave is already present within you. And it's going to connect and align with the beauty of the octave of where we're going, where humanity is going. It is the Aquarian era, the Aquarian age. It's a higher octave. It's a beautiful octave. And they're talking to us about all of this healing, purifying, recognizing the shadow, the monkey mind, not to kill it, eradicate it, ignore it, condemn it, to purify it, to make it whole, to bring us into alignment. Number 3 from the unseen, the first number 3, they said lack, limitation, and obstacles removed. Full steam ahead. And you'll see there's a lot of nautical references here. The living waters, nautical expressions, and so forth. So full steam ahead means, its literal meaning is with as much speed or energy as possible. Spiritually, full steam ahead signifies moving forward with maximum effort, faith, and intentionality, driven by divine energy or a clear purpose. It represents an urgent, fearless dedication to a soul-driven mission, not an ego, mind, personality, human, or fear, shadow-based mission. A soul-driven mission. What did my soul say it would do? What did it come here to do? You'll know the answer to that question because it'll be a knowing, a feeling, an entire story, a word. You'll know. It's a knowing. Leaving behind hesitation to embrace purposeful action. So it's going to take faith and trust and chutzpah, but it's a knowing. So it's not that you're blindly moving forward or, bouncing about. This is deep knowing. Does it require us to act, to take the first step and then keep stepping? Yes. And so because we're leaving behind hesitation to embrace purposeful action. It symbolizes being filled with faith or the spirit, liquid trust, empowering you to overcome obstacles and being an effective tool for good, for change. It represents a zest for life that combines intentionality with enthusiastic energy to create a vision for your life. It implies that now is the time to act upon your calling or mission without delay. Fears, hesitation, worry may get in the way, but we can simply address it, see it, surrender, release it, breathe, expand, contract, breathe, purify it, and then it moves out of the way. And while generally positive, it acts as a reminder to ensure your energy is aligned with divine will, divine time, divine order, not just a frantic, misguided chase. Ultimately, it is a call to live full out with spiritual, emotional, and physical vigor. So this beautiful full steam ahead, because the lack, limitation, and obstacles removed. They're being removed. And here we are right at, we passed the equinox back on March 20th. The equinox equal day and night. And here we are in April, and this is when, of course, nature comes to life. All the trees, the flower, everything starts budding and blooming. That's creative force. The fact that it does so, air quotes, naturally, is the receptive force, the knowing. It knows to bloom. The grass doesn't think about growing, it just grows. The trees don't think about blooming, they bloom. The flowers don't think about opening, they just open. So that's the receptive force, the knowing. The creative force then is the action taken that brings about, in service to the knowing, the action, the move, the change, the beauty, because we see it. And that's that expand, contract. Well, in winter, of course, it contracts, right? But in spring, it expands. So now let's look at, there's so much here. We're going to go to number 5 from the unseen. And number 5 from the unseen, and this ties into, first I want to go to Pam Youngin's North Point Journal. And she is talking about the Libra full moon. And this is where number 5 comes in. The lunar cycle that began with a Pisces new moon on March 18th reaches its culmination point this week. The full moon perfects at 7:11 p.m. Pacific time today, Wednesday, April 1st, when the moon is at 12:21. Keep that 12 degrees 21 arc minutes of Libra. We'll come back to number 5, 12:21. Opposite the sun at the same degree of Aries. We commonly think of airy mental Libra as being refined, cooperative, and objective. However, this lunation is more emotionally charged than we might expect, due to the two luminaries, the sun and the moon, being square, that's a frictional aspect in astrology, square Jupiter in protective Cancer. See all of this water? This places Jupiter at the apex point of a cardinal T-square, increasing a tendency to be either overconfident, to go to unhealthy extremes, or to lack good judgment. Some may be highly impatient and impulsive, headstrong, defensive, or aggressive under this influence. All of those things are ego, mind, personality, human, shadow. So Pam Youngins, when she's talking about lack of good judgment, unhealthy extremes, overconfidence, highly impatient, impulsive, headstrong, defensive, or aggressive under this full moon, those are all shadow elements. Anchors away, we're running with the shadows of the night, this Nine of Swords, and how we're meant to purify and purify them, cleanse them, face them, not become them, not quadruple down on them. Pam Youngin's North Point Journal. Cries for justice, equal treatment, and higher ethical standards may ring loudly this week. Libra rules the law, equality, and the courts, while Jupiter represents lawyers, judges, and ethics. This week's full moon also highlights the next phase of the great unraveling, since the sun will be only 7 degrees away from Saturn, the great teacher, and thus will activate the ongoing effects of the Saturn-Neptune alignment. And the unseen was reminding me, I read a headline this morning where a federal judge in the U.S. Ruled against limiting free speech, public. So NPR and so forth, public discourse, public speech. It's the purity of these things. It's to purify the shadow. It's to say that we the people, Aquarian, we the people in a matriarchal era and age, in an age of the soul leading, knowing, has the right to speak, to disseminate, to shine that light in balance, in harmony, in goodness. Not to run roughshod over another, but to a rising tide lifts all boats. It's a beautiful quote. It's to lift us all up. Pam Youngins. Revelations are always possible under the gaze of a full moon, which lights up the dark night sky and exposes what has been obscured by the shadows. This potential is especially strong this week. Venus, the planetary ruler of Libra, and thus ruler of the full moon, is exactly square, frictional, suspicious Pluto on Friday coming up, increasing an awareness of hidden agendas along with a determination to know the truth. So again, there's hidden agendas being exposed. That the full moon illuminates, it reveals. It's going to cast a light on our shadows, on our fears, our resentments, our worries. And what the unseen is saying to us is come into a state and an alignment of harmony, purity, balance, relationship with ourselves, with soul source connection, the divine, and externally with others. Because the alternative choice, it's a choice, is to stay in shadow, to double down or quadruple down on shadow, to act in a way that will take us further away from where our true nature lies. Everything's purposeful, free will, free choice. However, we're being given the foresight to recognize what's What's on either choice? So we can walk with grace to purify and harmonize ourselves. 12:21. And we have this beautiful image of a divine feminine angelic being. So 12:21. Angel number 1221 signifies positive transformation, balance, and a reminder to maintain a positive mindset to overcome fear. So remember, this full moon is happening at 12 degrees 21 arc minutes of Libra. The sun is opposite in Aries at the same degree. It urges trusting the universe for personal growth and embracing new beginnings. In relationships, it suggests strengthening foundations, while 1221 for twin flames can indicate impending reunification. And 6-7 from the unseen, unity, unification, union. Never knew I could feel like this. I'm going to come to feel like this in a minute. So 1221 is saying, it's number 5 from the unseen, 1221. The new you is only a step away. And that was last week's number 1. Take the first step towards your new reality, then keep stepping. 1221, the new you is only a step away. And here we're talking about unity, unification, union. Never knew I could feel like this. The unseen is saying to us, see, when we purify the shadow and we purify the light, when we bring them into harmony and balance and unity and unification, oneness. Oh, I never knew I could feel like this. There's a sense of shalom, peace be with you. Peace is present. We're not caught up in the shadow. We're not eradicating the ego. We're not fighting. We're not swimming upriver. We're in the flow. One of your most favorite words, whether you spell it with 2 letters or 4, will become the word or the phrase, okay. Okay. And you can say that one word in so many different ways. Like, you want me to do this? Okay. You want me? Okay. You want me to surrender that? Okay. You can say it in so many different ways. And that one word becomes healing because you're saying to yourself or to the divine or your soul, okay, okay, I'll follow. Okay, I'll let go of that. Okay. While the ego, the human, the mind may not know why. We can't see down and around the corner. The soul knows. And so you just say to the soul, okay. It just keeps evolving. So 1221, it's about positive change. It's a nudge to embrace shifts in life with an open heart. It's a sign that your thoughts are manifesting quickly into reality. It's a reminder to trust your intuition and divine guidance. It's about encouragement to harmonize your personal life with your goals. It's a message that you are supported by the universe. Seeing the number 1221 is interpreted as a call to release fear and trust that you are on the right path. It acts as a reminder to focus on building a stable foundation in life, particularly regarding career or self-belief. For those in twin flame relationships, it is often seen as a signal to look forward to stability or reunion rather than separation. Used as a meditation or focal point to stay positive during times of uncertainty. So we have this beautiful, I'm just going to bring up the image again, 1221, this beautiful feminine angelic being. And the new you is only a step away. Take the first step towards your new reality and then keep stepping. Let me go to feel like this really quickly. And then we're going to come back to 1551. So feel like this, because they're saying to us, unity, unification, union. Never knew I could feel like this. Feel like this spiritually signifies a spiritual awakening where your consciousness is expanding and shedding old identities. It often manifests as intense emotional sensitivity, a sense of something coming or arriving, or a longing for deeper purpose, indicating your energy is realigning. You may feel disconnected from old routines, experience intense nostalgia, or feel a pull toward nature and solitude. It's a feeling of suspense or electric anticipation, often means that your soul is preparing for a new chapter or a higher frequency. There can be a physical sensation like buzzing, ringing in the ears, or sudden fatigue that are common as your body adapts to a higher vibration. It's a vertical energy and alignment. It's upreaching. You might experience a heightened sense of intuition, allowing you to know what is right or off in your life. You may feel like you are losing your identity, which is actually the ego dissolving itself to make room for your true self. See, the ego, once we tell the ego it's okay, ego mind, it knows that we're not killing it, eradicating it, leaving it behind. It calms down. It dissolves or makes space. It refines itself. They're showing me, the unseen is showing me, like when you play a record over and over and over again, it makes a deeper, or if it's stuck, it's making a deep indentation or groove in one portion of the record. When we release the ego, it allows for the smooth flow of the story to unfold, the song to play. And thereby we're no longer stuck or stagnant or embedded in something, and we're free to move, anchors away, we're free to move forward. While these feelings can be confusing or overwhelming, they are generally interpreted as positive growth towards a more authentic, aligned life. So we have this beautiful unity, unification, union. And all the kids today, the 6-7, 6-7, and here's the scene going 6-7. Well, it's number 6, number 7, but 6-7. Unity, unification, union. Never knew I could feel like this. Number 6. There's so many numbers. You guys notice there's so many numbers this week. So number 6 spiritually often symbolizes human imperfection, weakness, and the toil of earthly life, representing the need for divine grace. It is frequently linked to creation, hard work, and the balance between material and spiritual pursuits. The number 6 is commonly viewed as falling just short of the perfection associated with 7. So 6 represents humanity, 7 represents the divine. In biblical interpretations, 6 is often tied to humanity, as man was created on the 6th day. It represents humanity without God, without the divine, imperfect and needing redemption. But they're bringing our attention to bring these things together, to purify them. It symbolizes the 6 days of work before the Sabbath, meaning rest, representing the ongoing struggle, toil, and challenges of life. In Jewish tradition, the number 6, represented by the letter Vav, symbolizes connection or hooking things together, such as connecting heaven and earth, connecting soul source to human, soul source connection. They're connected, but it's our awakening to the fact, to that conscious fact, and then living our lives from that place that brings them together, hooking these things together, brings them. It's the Ahura Mazda rotary engine. And number 6 is one number short of 7, divine perfection, highlighting human frailty. And the human frailty in the sense that it's speaking about the weakness, the disconnection from the divine, from God, the all that is. And yet, when we consciously choose, it's choice, to unify them, to bring that to the forefront, that is not, it can be done through religious ways, but it can also be done spiritually. You can do it as one of the Master Jesus, one of his favorite statements of, you can stand in the closet where no one sees you and speak to God. Be in union and harmony with the divine. Purify your vessel and live and lead your life from that place. It need not be organized or public. If that's what works for you, that's wonderful. And if that's not your lane, then choose it from a place that does the same thing, because what we're doing is connecting, harmonizing, purifying the parts, the pieces of ourselves, the shadow and the light, to bring them all together. According to Baha'i teachings, 6 represents a transitional state for humanity, embodying a mix of positive and negative possibilities. In numerology, 6 is often associated with harmony, balance, sincerity, love, and the duty to care for others. Do unto others as you would have done to you. Notice how the number 6 is in alignment with Libra, harmony, this full moon energy that they're speaking to. Hexagram 6 from Carrie Hone at cafeosoul.com is about conflict. Let go. Let go of the conflict. Let go of the division of the shadow and the light of ourselves, the yin and the yang. It's the equinox, equal day and night. They're not against one another, they're in harmony with one another. Where one ends, the other begins, and vice versa. So here we have our first beautiful quote, and it's truth fears nothing but concealment. Kiki is saying, you are number 6. I am not a number. And so all of life, the creation, the math hidden in the universe is fascinating. But here we're talking about truth fears nothing but concealment. It's a Chinese proverb. And so you are being sincere, but you may feel obstructed or misunderstood. A cautious halt halfway brings success in the sense of meeting another in the middle to regain their trust. You are asked to let go of your defenses to gain support. The hidden influence of family suggests that discussing expectations and agreeing upon roles can heal the situation. So we've got healing again very much in this. Kiki saying that's a British TV reference. Early family conditioning can often be the root of why we experience conflict. So early family conditioning, how we've grown up, can often be the root of why we experience conflict. Their way is not necessarily our way, and conflict can come to remove the mask that hides our authentic self. So again, we can allow our experiences and our relationships and our connections and so forth to refine us, not define us. Conflict can come to remove the mask that hides our authentic self. The underlying cause of brightness hiding was a time where we avoided contention to hide our inner light, but a purely selfish approach may have brought this situation about. It is time to let go of what you are defending. It is important to confront and discuss any disagreements rather than remain silent. Conflict is the driving force of evolution and life. Opposites are what turn the wheel of Tao. Do not be put off by a sense of opposition or conflict. Expect it and plan for it, but understand its creative nature rather than respond to the friction defensively. See, it's how we work with the number 6, conflict, let go, the numerology of it, the spirituality of the number 6, the human aspect, that upreaching to 7, and to not do it with friction or defensiveness. Allow conflict to lift you to a higher level in your thinking. This open and accepting attitude ensures that any difficulty can be treated with respect and transformed into opportunity. So again, it's not staying at the surface. It's not staying at the shadow or the ego or the mind, the personality. It's not staying there. We can harness that energy, that conflict, that challenge, that shadow, to lift ourselves to a higher level in our thinking, our consciousness, our beingness. And that's where the unity, the unification, the union comes in. It comes in this place, in this form of assertive upreaching, up-leveling. It's assertive, it's not aggressive. It's assertive, it's pure. And we're harnessing the power, the force of that energy. I want to go to 1551. Now you'll see that it's a divine masculine angelic being. And 1551 is a powerful message signaling major life transformations, personal freedom, and new beginnings. It encourages taking charge of your life. Those double ones again, that creative force, letting go of old habits and using courage and intuition to guide you to achieve goals and embrace positive change. It symbolizes independence, leadership, and necessary adaptation. This number indicates that you are in a phase of significant personal change, urging you to leave behind what no longer serves you. 1551, with its initiator energy, you see its divine masculine, the purity of it. It's that creative force. So its initiator energy inspires you to trust your own intuition, to take initiative and make bold decisions in your personal life and career. In relationships, it highlights the need for independence and harmony. For twin flames, it signifies a pioneer protocol focusing on growth and mirroring lessons to each other. So this 1221, 1551, there's an aspect here about twin flames, or when we come into that, it means 1221, we're coming into unity, we're not separating, and 1551, where we're mirroring lessons, where we can mirror one another and learn from one another in a very pure, highest octave manner. The number 1551 is assigned to be proactive and open to new opportunities that lead to long-term success. The sequence 1551 is often seen as a gentle nudge to take control of your path with confidence. All of this, we have I am my highest octave. This upreaching, the divine, shalom, peace be with you. The unseen, the divine is within us. It's ever present. It is our highest octave. And thereby, when we align with all of that, the rest we let melt away. The ego, the mind, the personality, the human, the shadow. We let these things dissolve. Okay, okay. And we just let them. And then you take each step so that when each thing happens, perhaps you're doing something. Maybe you're making an offer on a home, or you're applying for a new position, or whatever it might be. And seemingly the unseen says, not this, not that, not yet. That's not rejection. That's not harm. That's divine protection. It's protecting you to deliver you, because when it's right, when it's meant to be, when it's right, it will come together. It will be like verdant green lights, pasture. It will be green. It doesn't mean that we don't take steps. We can take steps and see, is it this? Is it that? Listening to our knowing, and then watch as the unseen, your soul, gets louder and louder. If it's something that's not meant to happen, you'll know. You know it in the moment. You know. And thereby you'll be, okay. And then if should something not come about, you go, okay, it wasn't that. I knew that. Okay. And when it does, you know it is. So I'm mindful of the time, and I wanted to get to, I'm just looking to make sure. I really wanted to, and I'm going to try to fit this in very quickly. This is from Astrology by Lauren, and she's speaking about resurrection, the full pink moon, and Saturn sextile Pluto, and this Saturn sextile Pluto. There is something very karmic about Saturn-Pluto cycles, and this is happening, the Saturn sextile Pluto on March 28th, so it's just occurring. There is something very karmic about Saturn-Pluto cycles where we come face to face with our worst fears and self-inflicted pain. The dark underbelly rises to the surface, and we are forced to face it without denial, once and for all. For these cycles are also about long-term and major commitments to transforming our lives for the better, from the inside out. It begins internally and then gradually transforms the outer circumstances of our lives. It's not easy. Neither Saturn nor Pluto are easy planets to deal with. Together, they force us to deal with some deeply embedded habits and beliefs and assumptions that are difficult to undo. Like a resurrection, these planets can work together to rebuild the structures, the foundation, the structures of our lives in a better, stronger, and more reliable manner. That includes changing the hard stuff that we assumed would never change or could never change. This week, Saturn and Pluto are making an easy sextile, it's a harmonious aspect in astrology, to one another in which they search for common ground and solutions. So there's Libra, harmony, balance, unity. Because these planets are finding something of a détente within the sextile aspect, rather than being dissuaded by fears and old demons, they are asking us to channel their powerful capacity for transformation within our lives. Saturn Pluto people are the survivors. These are the ones who can overcome even the most challenging of obstacles, live to tell the tale, and can even change the world they live in. And now we are being given a snippet of that powerful resolve. There is great force in this transit. Therefore, respect it and use it wisely to make the sorts of changes in your life that will allow you to make whatever changes are needing to be made, to be the better able to take hold of the reins of our lives and even our destiny. These are two major transpersonal planets coming together in unity and harmony in a sextile, working together, saying we're not doubling down and quadrupling down on the fear and the shadow and all that. We're going to harness the purity of the void, the purity of the light to transform, to upreach, to move through or past the past, to receive something new, to literally direct our lives, our destiny. Astrology by Lauren. Because of the karmic nature of both planets, they afford us the opportunity to bring ourselves and our lives more in alignment with that which we perceive to be our calling, our destiny, and our true purpose. This is giving us foundation, solid foundation to reach the next level. There is a sense of dedication that comes when Saturn and Pluto work together in common cause. A sense of dedication, purpose, and resolve. That's the chutzpah I was talking about. You know, like we got to have skin in the game. We got to be willing to show up and make the tough choices. Listen. Remember they said to us, listen intently, be ready to receive, and be ready to take action. So this is a sense of dedication, purpose, and resolve. So whether you use that energy to improve your own health or well-being, embark on a major transition or renovation, or to pursue your own calling, this is a wonderful transit to chart out a plan of action that you know you can work with for years to come. There's an aspect astrologically here that is speaking about the fact that what we do in these times, in this moment now, is going to have long-lasting effect. So be clear, be mindful with the choices that you're making, because they will have long-lasting effect, staying power. And lastly, Astrology by Lauren, the full moon in Libra. On March 18th, we had a new moon. So the new moon and the full moon bookend one another. A new moon in the very last degrees of Pisces, in which we were being asked to slough off old patterns, old wistful fantasies that are no longer valid, and perhaps never were, which in turn might allow us to make room for new and better ways of relating and connecting with one another. New seeds were being sown within the potential of the new moon in Pisces, the end of the astrological year and wheel, asking us to look at things from another perspective, perhaps even going off in a new direction, to try new things, meet new people, and bring closure to those things that are not as relevant as they used to be. Full moons are times of culmination. They bring confirmation, but they can also bring closure and endings. They reveal things, the room we were making with the new moon. All those feelings and emotions that were being gathered at the Pisces new moon are now coming to fruition and informing all our relationships. The full moon in Libra puts all our important relationships on display, even the one with ourself. It's the most important one. So it's informing all of our relationships, and it's putting our most important relationships on full display. With a minor aspect to Uranus, expect the unexpected, there may be a few surprising twists and turns. And with a major aspect to Jupiter, our feelings, because both the sun and the moon in this full moon are squaring Jupiter. So our feelings, and with a major aspect to Jupiter, our feelings about our relationships could feel larger than life. Emotions come to the surface when the moon is full. Declarations are made, people speak their truth, and we see each other as we are. As a result, the full moon in Libra can be a turning point in some of the important relationships in our lives. Alliances can shift in this weather, agreements can be reconsidered, and commitments are questioned. But also know that when the moon is full, what was previously hidden from view makes itself known. And as a result of what we see, what we witness, and now know, things change. We know what we know until we know. Life is ever changing, ever evolving. The light, the concealment, things get revealed. On March 30th, Venus, the ruling planet of this month's full moon, enters the lush and verdant sign of Taurus. This is a sign of deep potential, faith, and beauty. This full moon serves as a reminder of the promise that this new season brings for that anticipatory need for resurrection and renewal. And rather than being dissuaded by the fears and the old demons that can hover about Saturn and Pluto transits, this week they are asking us to channel their powerful capacity for transformation within our personal lives. We can change habits. We can renovate a home. We can rebuild our lives, and we can find resurrection. All the more so in the light of the full pink moon in Libra this week, which aims to restore the balance and find peace, something we can all use a bit of right now. So in this most beautiful, luscious Libra full pink moon, where Venus is entering Taurus and the Saturn is sextiling Pluto, harness the power of purifying your shadow and your light. That ego, mind, personality, human, and your soul. Bring them into equinox, equal day and night, yin, yang, harmony, balance, purity. Because there's something they're saying to me, and we're going to close with this. There is something before us in this month of April. There are major changes that are before us that we have yet received, experienced, and thereby this is the stepping stone to that transformation, to that upreaching, up-leveling, to that it's not about who you are or were, but rather who you're becoming. What's before us that's coming up somewhere between now and mid-month, somewhere in this, it's going to be about who we're becoming. And this is the stepping stone that says, love takes time to heal when you're hurting so much. And healing doesn't have to hurt, however it is necessary. And go with the flow. The lack, the limitations, the obstacles, they're being removed. Full steam ahead. Anchors away. We're running with the shadows of the night. Not against them, not from them. With them. Harness the power of purifying yourself, your vessel, your soul, your relationships, your space, all of the above. Take the first step towards your new reality and keep stepping. Thank you all so much for your comments, your energy, your love, your presence. So looking forward to seeing where this all takes us next. We'll see you next week.